Well, hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is Ros Jones, your business coach, with my weekly podcast show, Bold Business Bites, coming to you from Yorkshire. This is where I have a great conversation with a phenomenal female business boss, and we share some of the bold stuff they do, lessons they've learned, adversities they've overcome, and the fun they have. And then I'll be dipping into my toolkit and sharing with you a top tip. Business can be lonely, so make sure you join us each week and be part of our show. So hello and welcome to episode 12 of my Bold Business podcast show, where I speak with Helen Marsden, the owner of the Park Manor Hotel in Scarborough, North Yorkshire. Helen's been running this lovely hotel for over 30 years, and we talk about some of the changes she's seen in that time and the main challenges faced by independent seaside hotels. Her one piece of advice for people in business is to take the time to step back and see the bigger picture. Otherwise, you could find yourself running around like a headless chicken, as she says. So please go ahead and enjoy listening to episode 12. So hello and welcome to Helen Marsden from the Park Manor Hotel in Scarborough. Hi, Helen.
Hi, nice to see you.
Thanks so much for taking part in our podcast show. Helen, we've known each other for a while now, and I remember this hotel probably from my very, very early visits to Scarborough in about 1998, I should think I came to stay here with my husband. So tell me, how long have you been here? Tell me your story.
Right. My parents came down from Scotland many, many years ago, and I wasn't even probably a twinkle in their eye. There was a great sort of synergy between Scotland and Scarborough and the East Coast. So they came down, and my father, I think, had several jobs, and my mum ran a little B&B, and she had my sister and I. And we grew up in the hotel business. So at the age of 3 or 4, you were washing up at the sink.
Were you here then?
No.
Okay.
No, that was at the B&B.
Okay.
And then she went a little bit larger and a little bit bigger. And then we had a hotel in York. And then we came back to Scarborough because my parents really liked it. And I met my husband in York, and he came back through here with me. And my mum and I ran Park Manor from about the mid-1980s.
Okay.
And then it was, people didn't just come for 2 or 3 days. They came for a week or a fortnight, you know, the big cases and they'd be on the seafront and enjoying the buckets and spades and the ice creams. But it's changed. Mm-hmm. And people are happy to go away for 2 or 3 days at a time and enjoy maybe the open air theatre, come to Scarborough, go along the seafront. Yeah. But the weather plays an enormous part in how busy Scarborough is.
Yeah. Last year, we had a really hot year last year, didn't we?
We did.
Was that really good for you?
Yes, it was. Yeah. The phone rings if the sun's shining.
Yes.
So if we're at a bank holiday weekend this weekend and there's a few rooms left, we won't worry about that because it will pick up either tonight or tomorrow morning and those rooms will most definitely go.
So do people tend to just wait for the weather reports and then just book in?
Really? I think they must do, honestly. Or I think they kind of like go, oh, do you know what, it's a bank holiday this weekend, why don't we just have a couple of days of Scarborough? Yeah, and they do. But there's a lot of day trippers come to Scarborough. Yeah. And I think quite a lot of people are put off by the A64 coming along. But you know yourself, you travel to anywhere, you're going to hit some sort of... I travelled to York to go shopping, you hit the traffic. Yeah. It's just how it is.
Well, we could have a whole conversation about the A64, but maybe not. That's for another day.
Not. Yeah.
So, but it's interesting the impact on that such things like roads have on our businesses, isn't it, really?
You see, I think, again, it's that psyche that get in the head. Do I want to be stuck in the traffic for an hour? But you sometimes have to go through those not such nice bits to get the nice bits at the other side. And the other side is getting here and having the lovely, wonderful scenery and enjoying the fresh air. As my father-in-law says, he's always more tired when he's in Scarborough. Yeah. The air, it wears me out. And the hills.
Yeah. Just going back to that road, though, just one little comment. It made me think. A few years ago, I was speaking to, I think it was somebody from the council, actually, I have to say. And I said, what about the A64? You know, because somebody was mentioning that the road to Blackpool, I've never actually been to Blackpool, I have to admit, but the road to Blackpool apparently is a motorway.
Yes.
So somebody was saying, well, why can't we have that to Scarborough? And he said, well, the reason for that is because people have such a tough job getting to Scarborough along the A64 that they'll stay for longer. If you had a decent road, then they'd just turn around and go back home again for one day. That's what his.
I don't know whether I believe in that.
I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah. No, I don't think that works.
I don't think so either.
No.
So you've been here for years, okay?
Yeah, nearly 30 years.
So you must have seen some changes then. You mentioned some people used to come for weeks on end, and now is it the majority of people?
Majority sort of 2-3 nights. Yeah, that's but they'll maybe come away 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Rather than having a week somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's go to Scarborough this weekend, or let's go to Helmsley another weekend, or during the week. Obviously, if the people aren't working, they can come any other time.
Yeah, which is what we used to do that. So my husband, he fell in love with Scarborough because he used to come here for his whole 6 weeks school holiday. Wow. Do you get people who stay for this?
No, we don't get that. Yeah. No. I mean, maybe if they did that, maybe now the accommodation is other places have apartments, studios. So maybe if somebody was coming for that length of time, and obviously we've got the caravan parks further along the coast. Yeah. You know, and I presume they're doing well. They seem to be busy when it's in the season.
There's so many, aren't there?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, there is.
So, what's your biggest challenges, do you think?
Challenges on a day-to-day basis is probably staffing.
Yeah.
Making sure you keep everything running correctly, keeping the staff happy, keeping it all upbeat and light, dealing with day-to-day problems of a bath overflowing and stuff coming through your ceilings and bits like that. The other side is getting as many guests as we can through our doors, so it pays all the staff's wages and is enough left for refurbishments and keeping things up to date. I'm very aware of a wall that needs painting or new curtains that need putting up. Yeah. And I get very upset when on TripAdvisor somebody will say, the hotel was wonderful, it looked fresh and clean and we loved our room, and somebody could be staying at the same time and they'll say, it was outdated, it was tatty, it was this, it was that. And I think, oh gosh, so you're never going to please everybody, but obviously we try and please the majority. Yeah. And some people may come and Park Manor's not for them. Mm-hmm. They maybe do want a premiering where they've got the room, they know what the room's going to look like when they get there. Yeah. The beds are going to be like that, they know what colour the covers are going to be. Yeah. Ours, it was a purpose-built building in the 1930s when you didn't have ensuite bathrooms. Mm. So obviously now they all do. So some of the rooms vary in size. Yeah. So we're not all a 6 foot by 6 foot room or whatever it is, 12. Yes, they do differ. And it's sort of getting across that you're not just paying for the bedroom, you're paying for the facilities and the staff that we look after. Yeah. So that they are happy to look after the guests.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, often it's very, very, very rare we get a negative comment about the staff, which is fab. Yeah, it is. The food, we get great comments about the food. I would say our only negative is probably the size of some of the bedrooms, but some people are happy with it, some people aren't. If they're not, they probably won't come back, and we've probably done the best we can with them. I would say the main thing is making sure we get people through the door so we can service those people and make them happy. Yeah.
I've stayed in lots of hotels, and customer service, I have to say, is one of my biggest peeves at places sometimes, because you can go into a hotel and the person on reception can just be looking at the computer or reading a book or something, and they just don't look up or they don't smile, don't acknowledge you in any way. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you think, should I just walk out? But so what do you do about customer service? By the way, when I came in...
Oh, God, I was just going to say, how was it?
I was greeted very positively.
Good.
So thank you for that training. Yeah, but how do you maintain those standards?
I mean, we don't send them on training courses. Mm-hmm. It's kind of an ongoing all the time. Yeah. And I think because a lot of the staff have been here so long, they know what's expected of them. It's very natural for them to... Yeah. We all have off days. You do, I do. There's going to be times when, you really don't want to go to work that day. But when you are the front of it's okay if the chef's in a grump. Nobody sees him. Well, it's not all right for the rest of the staff working with him. Right. But out front, you've got to be good. And again, some people have had an awful journey getting here. One guy got bit with a bee on his way here, or a wasp in the car. We didn't know that, so he'd absolutely gone nuts with us at reception, and then he said, on the way here I got stung and I'm cross. He wasn't cross at us, he was cross at his situation. And it's kind of just sort of learning to deal with that, and rather than making excuses to a customer, saying, I'm sorry we didn't get that right, or I'm sorry you didn't enjoy your stay, but, I'd love you to come again, and we can maybe show you one of the suites that you maybe could stay in, and hopefully you don't get stung on the way here, and you're a nice person. And it's just, so the staff they're led very well by Alison, our general manager. She's fantastic. She's great with kids. She's great with the older people and everybody in between.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And I think it's a case of us not saying to them, this is what we want you to do. It's leading by example.
Yeah.
So absolutely. If I go through and engage with somebody and smile, it's obvious that's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah. Good. How many staff have you got here now?
We've got about 30 altogether, but about sort of 10, 12 full-time.
Right, okay.
And then we have a lot of young staff, which our guests love. We don't take them on from the age of 15.
Right, okay.
So they'll work weekends, and maybe work for our Sunday lunches, Saturday evening, and maybe one night during the week. There is rules and regulations when you should have them, but we don't overwork them.
Yeah.
So that works really well. And again, they're trained.
Yeah.
So they're clear to the correct side, they put the glasses down at the right side, and, they'll make sure they clear the cutlery away that's not being used. And again, that's where that in-house, although it's not training as such, it's on-the-job training.
Yes, on-the-job training.
Yeah.
Great. What's your plans? What's your vision? What's your goals for the hotel?
Yeah. I'd love to see the occupancy go up. Mm-hmm. That would be something that would then give me great satisfaction, and also the funds to be able to do more to it. Yeah. I don't want to be beholden to the bank in a big way. Mm-hmm. I'm very fortunate that this has been passed down to me through my parents, so I don't have huge bank fees. I know interest rates are low at the minute, but I've always had the sort of philosophy that my father taught me and my mother, that if you can do it out of the profit that you're making, yes, I have a working overdraft. Because it's very seasonal. Yeah. So, and that's how I have to run that. So if my occupancy went up, one member of staff can serve 10 people or one person. That member of staff still costing me that price. Yeah. So it's making sure we get that occupancy lifted. That's my challenge, and that's what my vision is going forward. And just making sure I keep the upkeep of the hotel.
Is your goal to pass it down to your children?
No.
Okay. Are they interested?
No, they're not. Okay. My son's doing engineering, my daughter's doing psychology, and I've got one sister, and she has a completely different career. So, no, I don't think so. I think there will come a time, and as we touched on briefly the other day, I'm very aware that when you sell a business, obviously the more profitable it is, the higher you can ask for it. Yeah. So a goal would be keeping it at that level.
Yeah. Increase the profits, grow the profits.
Yes. Yeah.
So what about Scarborough then? Have you got any, are you happy to stay here? What's great about Scarborough for you?
The openness. Mm-hmm. It's not closed in. It's not high rise. It's, coming along the bay in the morning when I come to work. I live on the South Bay, the hotel's on the North Bay. And, most mornings I drive around the front and it's breathtaking.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's stunning. People, you could say, well, you could be in the south of France or somewhere. Yes, you could. The sun's on the water. It's lovely. It's not a hemmed in place. No, it feels nice.
Yeah. Years ago, before I started my business, I used to have to go down to London a lot for my job. And so if I'd been away all week, my husband would pick me up at the station and he'd bring me round to this North Bay. And it would just be like,
Did your shoulders go down?
Yeah, absolutely they did. It was just amazing. That.
I love going to London and I love shopping.
But you can come back here.
I can come back. I've never lived I've lived in York, obviously a bigger town. I know it's not a high-rise town. And I love shopping. And I love taking the kids shopping and we have a great time. And I do like all that. And my husband's very sporty, so he surfs and he bike rides in Dalby Forest, and I don't do any of that with him. So, I'll just sit and read. I'll have an hour reading a book. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, when your visitors come to you, what do you tell them about? Yeah.
Age-wise, some of them will have to want to go off and do some day trips. Yeah. You mentioned bridge, so that way, nearly everybody goes to Whitby. Yeah. They all want to trip out to Whitby. So they do that. Obviously, Dalby Forest and into that way if they've got children and they want to do a little bit more sort of adventurous things. Yeah. Rainy days, there's a sea life centre. Rainy days are more of a problem.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but those are the days when we personally might do well because people will stay in and have snacks, and we've got a big games room, we've got a swimming pool, so there's things that they can occupy themselves with. And obviously we can tell them that you can get the open top bus down at the front here, go all the way around the base, go to the spa, go to the Esplanade Gardens. Yeah, and just take in those sights.
Do you have events here as well? Do you have piano or something?
Oh, as in entertainment?
Yes, entertainment. That's the word.
Yeah, we do, occasionally we do.
Yeah.
Not often. We don't have a regular Mike night on a Thursday or a orchestra on a Saturday or anything. Yeah. We'll do Fawlty Towers nights, we'll do murder mystery nights, we'll do a Rat Pack night. We normally do those on weekends when we know we want to get our occupancy up so we can advertise it strongly.
That's a great idea. And you've got your pool as well?
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah, and we have a leisure club.
Oh, right.
So people can come and use that from 8 in the morning to late at night, and that works brilliantly.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah. Pool there has gone.
It has. Yes. It has, yeah. Yeah. And the new pool, that's had a bit of bad press recently with
has it?
People saying that it's been closed, I don't know what for certain days.
Oh.
So they've gone to swim and they haven't. I mean, ours is not an Olympic-sized pool. It's more of an exercise pool, really.
Yeah, it's very pleasant.
Yeah.
I remember it's very pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I have been asking my phenomenal female business bosses, Helen, is if there was just one thing a piece of advice that you would give to a woman who's got an idea to start her business, maybe a hotel, maybe something completely different, what would your advice be based on your experience?
I would say my gut's telling me to say, step back from it sometimes and see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You get very bogged down with the day-to-day sometimes of running around like a lunatic with a headless chicken, kind of do this and do the banking and sort that member of staff out, and somebody's seen to have smiling at a guest who was arrived at reception. Very, very bogged down, and you can get very hectic and very overwhelmed with it, I would say. And I did feel that at times. And I think, that old saying, sleep on it.
Yeah.
Step back and see the bigger picture and see where you're going. I think that would be my advice, is slow down and step away from it and look at it.
Great, sound advice indeed. If people want to get in touch with you, find out more about the hotel or whatever, what do they need to do?
Yeah, well, the website is very easy. It's parkmanor.co.uk. Obviously, they can contact me direct if they wanted to, and that's Helen at parkmanor.co.uk. More than happy to speak to anybody. If I can give anybody any advice or any help, more than willing to.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Helen. It's been lovely to have you.
Thank you.
In our conversation, Helen spoke about the importance of customer service and leading by example. Customer service is such an important marketing strategy, which is often overlooked, and I see a lot of businesses struggling with this. But it's 5 or 6 times easier and cheaper to get existing customers to buy again from you, rather than constantly having to go out to find new customers. So it's important to get it right. It's vital to get it right. We need to ensure our team delivers great customer service every time, so that our hotel guests would never think or dream of going anywhere else. Here are 3 quick tips to ensure your employees are fully engaged in your business so that they will deliver what you need to keep your customers coming back. Of course, before I share my 3 tips, we need to remember that it begins with you, the business owner. Your style of management creates the behaviours of your teams. If you're passionate and engaged, there's a greater chance that they will be too. So here are my 3 quick tips for you. So number 1 is be clear about roles and responsibilities. Make sure your employees are trained, agree KPIs, key performance indicators, and hold your staff accountable to them. Number 2 is train them to think. A disease I see in business owners who were once self-employed is that to get the job done right, we think we have to do it ourselves, but that's not true. We need to be proactive in our management, get our employees trained to the standards we want them to perform to, and hold them accountable. They'll be much more engaged. If you want to grow your business, then help to grow your employees. And number 3 is clear communication. It's crucial for it to keep your employees engaged. For example, what's your vision for your business? A great leader needs to keep staff focused on the vision and the team daily, not on their individual problems and themselves. Helen spoke about maybe the chef having a bad day and it wouldn't impact on the hotel guests, but it will impact on the team around. So it's important that they keep focus on the business vision. The leader's job is to communicate, talk to your staff, make sure they get congratulated on what's great more than they're disciplined for what's gone wrong. Ensure they know the common goals for the business, which is that everyone wins. So I hope that's been useful. If you're interested in learning more about how I might be able to help with employee engagement and customer service or any other aspect of your business, please feel free to get in touch. Thanks for listening. This has been your Ros Jones Bold Business Bites show. If you'd like any further information about anything we've discussed today, please just get in touch. Go to businesscoachingyorkshire.co.uk. Please join me again next week when I'll be speaking with another phenomenal female business boss with bold business bites. And remember to subscribe to my show. Thanks for listening.